Call the meeting of the Twinsburg Board of Building and Zoning Code Appeals to order this day of 24 March 2021, and it's about 7:48. And have a roll call, please.
Ed,
Here.
Tom,
Here.
Gary,
Here.
Michael,
Here.
Chris,
Chris will not be able to make the meeting. I make a motion to excuse Chris from the meeting. He told me he had an emergency come up. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor to excuse Chris? Say aye.
Aye. Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States
of America
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one
a
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's go to a work session. Do we have anybody here who is opposing the request for variance?
we do have one attendee who would like to speak on it here tonight.
Okay.
Bring her. Her
What
name
is the
is
person's-
Michelle.
Michelle, okay. Michelle, we'll get back to you in just a second. And in that regard, we'll stay in the work session. Michelle, basically what will you be saying in either favor of or opposed to the variance request?
Michelle, you'll need to unmute. I sent you a request to unmute.
Right. I'm not either way. I just want to be involved in this because I live right next door. I just want to put some insight on it.
Sure, go ahead.
There's a lot of rock there, a lot. And I just want to know that the person that buys the property, that they're aware that there's a lot of rock there and they're going to have to pay extra money to dig when they actually build a house and put the septic in. Because I went through it last year with putting in a new septic tank in. So I just wanted to that's my main concern, is the person that buys the property. So they're aware of that.
And is the applicant here?
Yes, Jeff is here.
Jeff, did you hear that comment?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so forewarned, in regard to the variance requested, we have a minimum of 2-acre lot size. And in looking at the zoning map and the vicinity of the property that you have, Jeff, it seems like all kinds of different sizes of lots have been permitted on Cannon Road, including those directly across from you and continuing on toward Liberty. And then that 2-acre lot zoning seems to meander around your lot, behind other lots, and pops up in 2 or 3 other places in the city. Jeff, do you have the wherewithal to be able to put in a septic tank and well for your water on this lot?
So we have went as far as going in front of Summit County Board of Health, and we do have the paperwork where it was, they permitted a septic system on that property. So, whoever does eventually build on the property will need to, put a septic system in and a well. So it's just a vacant lot currently.
Right. And the practical difficulty seems to be the size of the lot that's been there for many years, even before the 2-acre zoning was put in. Is that true?
Well, you got to realize that property was never for sale for many of years also. So I don't know if anybody ever pursued the idea to build on it at a prior time.
The zone seems to wander around is what I'm saying. And the practical difficulty is you don't meet the 2-acre requirement, but you have almost 1.7 acres, right?
Correct.
And is the front of that property buildable?
From my understanding, yes, it does meet the frontage requirement for the zoning in that district without centralized water or sewer.
We have a letter by one of the neighbors asking that we deny your request for a variance based on the fact that you knew what the zoning was when you got the property. On the other hand, there is no claim in that letter that granting the variance would somehow devalue the complaining party's property. I just want that to be known for the record. Likewise, an objection was raised in that very same letter as to traffic problems at that curve going up the hill. One of the thoughts that I've had on this, members of the board, is that if we decide to grant the variance, that we put conditions on it to make sure that ingress and egress to the property involved is maintained properly. Do we have any other comments from any other of the board members?
Ed, as you discussed before, but I just wanted in the record that on those lots outlined in the record, none of them meet the 2-acre standard. Okay, and but they are considered legal non-conforming lots of record.
Right, and those are directly across the street from the property involved.
Yes, and all homes on those sites do have treatment systems on site.
Any other comments by any member of the board or from the public?
I'm good.
Okay. Can I have a motion to move to the regular meeting?
I make a motion, we move to the regular meeting since we're done with the work session.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Motion passes. We'll go to the regular meeting. Other than what has been said so far during the work session, anybody who spoke at the work session, is there anything you wish to add to what you have already said? Jeff, are you one?
I have none.
Okay. I think I've spoken my piece, and I think anybody else on the board has spoken theirs. We have Appeal 052021. Given the circumstances and given the fact that the lot is on a hill, my thinking is that if we grant a variance, that we put a condition on the variance that the frontage of the property, or an appropriate amount of the frontage of the property, is designed in a way to require front end access to Cannon Road, and that backing out onto Cannon Road would be prohibited as a condition. Does anybody think that that's too harsh a condition?
I do not. Cannon is hard to back out of. I never back out. I always turn around.
I would dare anybody to try.
I'm totally agree on that one.
Is that going to require a certain configuration of the driveway then that would put a limitation on the house and the design of it?
I think what you want to do is work with the building commissioner on how to design the front of your lot so that traffic, whether it's in a circular motion or an arc, or just a way to move in, reverse, and go out forward is possible. It shouldn't be too difficult to come up with that kind of configuration.
Right.
I would think something in regards to keeping a sight line open, looking uphill and downhill would be adequate, but I find it kind of hard to require someone to only pull out of a driveway and not back. I would think anybody that would build on that lot would, accompany enough concrete in their driveway to be able to turn around up near the garage area of the home. But I find it kind of hard to how do you put a mandate like that where you cannot back out of a driveway? I do see the concern of the hill being an issue, but I think with the sight lines being maintained, looking up and downhill, that should be adequate enough.
Well, I can agree with your reasoning. I think it's a safety issue. And it is, from my experience driving up and down Cannon Road, I would fear a car backing out onto Cannon Road, to tell you the truth. So I don't think it would be unreasonable to require a design subject to the building commissioner's approval to make sure that the vehicles go out forward onto Cannon Road at the point where your lot is.
So would it be acceptable to require the driveway accommodate being able to turn around?
Yes. Yeah.
It sounds like that might satisfy what Jeff's saying and also what you're saying, Ed.
I think so, and I think that condition, we can put that condition on the variance and have you work out the details with the building department.
Yeah, Keith did briefly, look at this and speak on it today, that a lot of properties that way will have kind of the T turnaround where they can kind of pull in almost like turn the car around and go the other way rather than a full like arch or turnaround.
Right.
Kind of that T turn.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be complicated. We're not asking for design, artistry or anything like that. Just a practical turnaround, back in and back out.
Would you guys think that's sufficient? Maybe that's the wording that needs to be in play, is that when the driveway is installed, that you can mandate that there's a turnaround installed. Would that be sufficient enough so there is access to be able to turn around in the driveway and pull out versus backing out?
I think so.
Okay.
Anybody object to that?
No, I think I think you have a good point, Ed. The resident's going to want that anyway. So as long as you don't have an objection that it would fit onto the property, it seems like a logical solution.
Yep, I would be fine with that.
Okay, very good. I would propose a motion to grant the variance based on a practical difficulty of meeting a 2-acre requirement when in fact the lot as sized would still meet the requirements of the Department of Health of Summit County for installation of sewer treatment and water. So if I could have a motion to grant the variance as requested, subject to a turnaround in the front of the property to assure front egress from the property to Cannon Road.
A motion to grant it on that basis.
Do I have a second?
Can we add one thing in there?
Oh,
Sure.
So that it can't be interpreted that we're directing that they must do a front egress. It allows them the opportunity for front egress with that turnaround.
Okay.
That way we, it can't be interpreted. We're saying there's no way that you can ever not do that. Is that fair enough?
Well, yeah, because I can see situations where there could be an emergency and you've got to get out of the property. Or,
so
don't want to get into details on that. Yeah, there
Okay.
are exceptions to everything.
That's true. Okay, I agree with you.
So with that in mind, I will make the motion to grant the variance based on the practical difficulty of the lot size versus the zoning requirement, which actually came in after the lot was platted or designed, and that a condition be put in that steps are taken by the property owner to assure that backing out of the property is at a bare minimum and hopefully limited to emergencies. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think the variance is granted. That ends item 2 on the regular meeting, Appeal 052021. Jeff, I wish you well.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great week.
You too. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of February 24, 2021?
I make that motion.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed. The minutes are approved. Ryan, do we have any communications?
There will be an April meeting, so plan on that 4th Wednesday in April. There'll be an appeal. There's already been one filed. So.
Okay, can you tell us what the nature of it is?
The nature will be the Lakeview kind of apartment style complex, the condemnation notice on that property.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Motion, we've already moved and excused Greg, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
upon thoughtful consideration, the meeting is adjourned. The motion is granted.